Insect hatches throw walleye anglers a curve that's hard to overcome. But up next, Jon Thelen reveals a trolling system sure to help you beat the bugs.
There he is. He bit it. Just gotta get him to hang on to it. They're so tentative right now because there's so much bait. They're all eating these bugs. This is a bug hatch that is crazy. You can see them buzzing around me. And that's what we're gonna talk about today is how do you catch fish? How do you catch walleyes in a big hatch? Because this is, in my opinion, the toughest time to catch fish. And crazy as it sounds, it's June right now. It should be easy. But there's always a couple stretches, especially on big bodies of water, where you get bug hatches that make it nearly impossible to catch fish. Good walleye, good fish. But what we're gonna do today is show you how to catch them. Because here's the thing. I look back to when I was tournament fishing. I had no choice but to find a way to catch them. And there are ways to do it. And in guiding, same thing. You know, it was one of those deals where it was just not good enough to say, well, they're just not biting because of this bug hatch. One way or another, in those scenarios, I had to find a way to catch fish. And there are ways to do it. And we're gonna do it today. We're gonna get them. And a part of it is just going to be shifting location. Part of it's going to be presentation. And part of it is just going to be working through what you got to do to get these fish to bite. Because it's not always a simple deal when you're in this scenario. Great fish. 21 incher to start our day. That's an awesome fish right there. Let's hope we can just keep putting these in the boat, huh? Get out of here, buddy. Got him. It's funny how in these scenarios, when you see a fish, most of the time they're willing to bite, but you gotta find them. You gotta see them on your electronics. And when you see them, they're usually willing to go. It feels like a decent eater size fish. Small side to eater. Oh, good walleye. Good eater fish. Come here, buddy. Look at that. Just made a quick color change on my spinner too. Just trying to give them something different, because when you're not seeing a lot of fish, you want to make sure that you're giving them a decent look. You know, they got to see something that they might be interested in. We've had a lot of boats come in around us here, and I'll tell you what's going on. People just aren't catching fish. It's just tough sledding. And when that starts happening, people will start coming in and they're just wandering around looking, hoping that they're going to land on a spot where some fish are biting. And I don't know that it's really about being on a spot where fish are biting as much as understanding the scenario you're in. So let me explain this to you. I'm going to throw that guy in the live well. What a great eater size fish, probably 16 inches. So we'll throw him in, take him home for dinner tonight. But let me explain to you what's going on. So with this bug hatch, you got to remember something. The fish that were all up on these reefs, okay, they're going to slide off the reef, because here's what happens. The bugs hatch in soft bottom, and that's what's going on right now. The bugs are hatching out here in the mud. So we're off the edge in the softer bottom, and I'm seeing the bug hatches. They're crazy on the graph. You can see them nonstop, and every now and then you see a walleye. Your walleye shows up in a color that you can tell. He's definitive. But here's what's happened. The bait slides off of that reef, moves out into soft bottom stuff because it's all feeding on those bugs. Now the walleyes will get involved in eating some of those bugs as well, but they're really out there because they're chasing bait. I'll tell you a story. I'll never forget a day that I was guiding on Mille Lacs. I had a guy and his young son, and we were in a bug hatch, and it was just terrible. And I finally slid off the reef. We were seeing a few fish on the reef, catching a few here and there. We anchored up where I'm sure people drove by and said, how in the world can he be catching anything out there? we were windmilling them in one after another because we were out in the soft bottom where the bugs are hatching. The bait's gone out to chase those bugs around and eat the bugs, and then the walleyes have come out behind them. So that's the number one thing about a day like today is you got to understand when you get in these bug hatches and you got these flat seas like we have today and you can see the hatches. I mean, they're just crazy. Get out into that softer bottom where the hatch is happening because most of the walleyes that were up on top, they're going to slide out. The other thing I'll tell you is all these guys behind me here, they're up on top of the reef, and I haven't seen a single neck come out. And I'm sure just right up till the last couple days, they were probably catching fish up there. So there's probably a combination of guys that have been here for a few days just figuring, well, they're just not biting yet. But it's changed. The bugs have hatched and the walleyes have moved off the reef. Let's get that back in the water. I'm gonna just turn around, go right back down that same stretch, but that seems to be the key. Just getting out in that soft bottom and pulling a spinner past him. There he is. There he is. Come on. Hang on. Got him. Look at that. It's so automatic when you see them. When you see them, you can catch them. I mean, that's just really what the deal is. But I want to explain something to you that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Number one, when I see that bug hatch, that's when I go to crawlers. Because these fish are more on a larva-based feed now, okay? So that's when I switch over to crawlers. As soon as I see that bug hatch, it's time to switch. Great walleye, another good eater. So I'm on to crawlers, but here's the other thing. Because these fish are so scattered out chasing all this bait around, what happens is you need something that's gonna move a little quicker. So this is not the time where I'm gonna Lindy rig, okay? Because Lindy rig's gonna have me moving a little bit too slow. I wanna juice it up a little bit, and I want to go track that fish down, but I want to do it with a crawler. So that's when I'm going to go to a spinner. Real simple deal. Number one, look at that, barely hooked, but got him. Number one, I'm putting down there a larva-based bait that they're willing to eat. Another great 16-inch fish. We'll chuck him in the well. But number two, I'm putting something down there that grabs their attention with that blade. And then number three, I'm moving fast. And if I can do all of that, put all that together, I'm gonna usually be pretty successful. Let me show you what I'm using here. I'm using a simple little Joe crawler harness, okay? It's tied with 14-pound line. You know it's gonna hold up for you. It's gonna do a good job for you. It comes tied with a loop, so all you gotta do is clip it on your bottom bouncer. I'm running a 2-ounce bouncer today, and I'm moving pretty fast. I'm zipping right along at 1 to 1.1 miles an hour, and I'm deliberately doing that because I'm trying to grab their attention. The other thing I'll tell you is there's a whole bunch of colors in the Little Joe line, but I'm using one of the newer ones. This is a gold and pink with a white back. I'm choosing this because I'm putting a lot of color down there. The more color I can put down there, the better shot I'm gonna have to grab fish's attention right now, especially when things are a little bit tough. Let's get it baited up, get back after them. That's awesome. We'll take that. Perfect. You can beat a bug hatch. You just gotta make some adjustments. And you know what? Now all of a sudden, we're putting together a pretty good day. And I will tell you, I still have not seen a net come out. But I'm seeing guys jigging still. I'm seeing guys still trying to fish up in the hard bottom. And there's no bugs hatching in that hard bottom. They're hatching out here in this softer stuff. A few guys have migrated out to try to get it figured out. But, you know, a little bit goes into it. It takes a little bit of time to get it figured out. And I came out here this morning when I saw the bug hatch. I knew we were going to have to alter some things and fish a little different. Fish based around the fact we got a bug hatch to deal with. There he is. Got him. Ooh, that feels like a decent fish. Yep, that feels like a pretty good one. Man, it's amazing. You just adjust to the scenario you're in. And a lot of times it means just throw out what worked yesterday, when you get a bug hatch, just throw out what might have worked for you here or there, another great walleye, and just go out and get yourself in a position where you're finding fish that are feeding. And when you're in a bug hatch, what you got to know is those fish that you're going to find that are feeding are going to be out off the structure. They're going to be out in that water where those bugs are hatching. And if you can find those spots, which is usually a soft bottom deal like what we're on right here, you're going to be able to catch them. Great way to wrap up a day. Guy's going to go in the live well. What an awesome day of fishing. Get out, fish these bug hatches. Don't be scared of them. Just adjust. You'll catch fish like that.